does mobile technology impact consumers' buying behavior?
In two different ways. One of them directly impacts their online behavior and one of them directly impacts their offline behavior. So to take offline first, as I just touched upon, people are often much more informed now when they go into a shop, if possible at least. They've already done their research to find out, is the shop even open? So it's changed the possibilities that physical stores have in being in touch with their customers, because they're able to see immediately, I'm looking for whatever it may be, and the store nearest to me is actually open. So you're able to directly send someone down there who is already informed. We see some car dealerships, for instance, have a completely new and much improved sales experience, because the customers they've played around with the car, they've already modeled it to how they would like it to look. So when they go into a dealership, the dealer doesn't have to start from the beginning. They can already say, oh, okay, you're interested in this Volkswagen and you would like that color. Yes, that does exist. You can have this combination. So you can put it together. So the customer is able to be far more prepared. And from a non-commercial perspective, of course, it's the same with doctors, for instance, where people have done their research in advance. And if I understand correctly, a lot of doctors are quite frustrated because, of course, the more you research, the more symptoms you all of a sudden have. The online behavior, I find, is to some extent more interesting to discuss, because we're seeing a marked shift in usage of devices, which means that 5-6 years ago, all traffic online was desktop, and it was very either research or you would purchase directly from the website. With more and more users on mobile devices and tablets for that matter, they're researching a lot on their mobile device, and then they're going over to desktop to just complete the final conversion. So this is a quite important shift that's taking place, because it means if you're only looking at your online analytics data, you'll actually see your desktop conversion rates start to improve. So a lot of people are out there thinking, brilliant, online is working better than ever and it's brilliant. And then they'll look at their mobile numbers and see, oh, traffic is growing and growing and growing, but my conversion rates are dropping. So obviously we want to move completely away from mobile, but they're actually overlooking the synergy effect in that people are doing all the research on mobile when they have time on public transportation or waiting or wherever they may be. And then they've made their complete decision, and then they go over to the desktop site, because it's often easier to buy. It's easier to make that final purchase, type in your credit card details, what it may be.
So there's a lot of synergy effects going on between mobile and desktop. What are the biggest opportunities for mobile marketing you see that people are missing out on? What are marketeers not moving on that they should be moving on?
They're not. It's actually the research part. They're just not getting it into their heads that is the user behavior now. So they're still looking at them as isolated behavior patterns, where if you're able, for instance, if you have login details or the opportunity to log in on your website, to use that data to say, okay, we saw you were present on another device. It's not even mobile. It could be a work computer and a home computer, for instance, where you can say, we know you've already done these things. Now, here's how we want to help you progress forward. If it's Amazon is a great example. If I've done something, whether it's on the app or my mobile phone on the website or anything, I've put something in the basket. When I go onto desktop, it's still there. And that's such an obvious but necessary step to take to get your IT infrastructure in place to be able to actually make that link, because marketing is only as good as what you sell. Otherwise, it's a nice to have channel for talking to people, but unless you're actually tracking it back to how you're selling and providing your users with the best possible experience on that front, then you're wasting money.
So following the user from device to device, basically just as Netflix does, where you can just start any movie where you just stopped it. But having to log on is so annoying. How would you handle that?
Respect the user. Give them a good reason to do it. And I think that's the problem. If you see many companies, they will have a login box or offer that you become a member, but they'll give you nothing in return. They'll not tell you at all which benefits you get from it, why you do it. So the user is left with a feeling of, I'm giving you something, what are you giving me in return? Where really, if a company successfully says, if you log in, we will give you access to this, or it's just understanding that the users are in the driving seat today, and the companies can no longer be the big, happy, altruistic Dumbledore type characters who are just happily doling out of their wisdom. They have to accept that in order to keep these spoiled teenage users, which teenage users is from the age of about 4 to 100, they have to give something in return. And that is how you get people to log in. It's by saying, if you log in, these are the things you'll get. Your experience will be significantly better than it will be if you're not. You can still not choose to not be logged in, that's fine, but here's what you'll get if you do.